right, so this is the TSG Multimedia video podcast for July 1st of 2011. This is John Abaticola sitting with
Dan Cortopassi.
And let me put it to you this way, Dan. If I were a subscriber to the podcast and this picture showed up, I'd be like, what is this?
Well, to borrow your line, we're going to do something a little different this time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I should have known something like that.
What I want to talk about is staying organized as a modeler, because if you're like me and you start to accumulate a lot of parts and tools and things like that, it can be a real challenge to keep it all organized in somewhere where you can find things and lay your hands on it. So after struggling with that for a long time, I finally found some of these neat little boxes like this one. And this one I happen to use for HO scale couplers and a few other things, but mostly couplers. I've got some, like these are KD58s here. And,
I remember those.
Yeah, and these are some KD number 5s, which I'm not really using anymore, so I'm kind of developing a little collection of those. I also got some of the, like the shelf couplers for tank cars in here. I got some coupler boxes.
So is this a coupler box? Or what?
Yeah, this is pretty much my coupler box. I have some these little washers are used as shims for cars where the couplers are too low.
Right, raising and lowering the trucks, basically.
Right,
yeah,
and I've got some screws in here for mounting couplers. I think these are 256 screws. And these are some nylon screws. And I got some extra, like, springs and things like that still in the little packages as they come from Katie. So just pretty simple, but I try to keep, I've got several of these little boxes and I try to keep stuff that's sort of related in the same box. But this way I know where all my couplers are, or at least mostly. The ones that I haven't opened yet, I can just keep them in there. I've got another one. This is kind of similar, but this one's for N scale, and this has actually Microtrains trucks in it, all different types. I kind of got them organized like by, you know, these are like the Bettendorf with no coupler on them, and like this one has these are roller bearings with the extended bolster, and I've got a spare Cato SD40-2 truck in there. So, and I've also got some. These are some Fox Valley wheels for the Microtrains trucks.
Oh, Fox Valley. I remember that name.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that I told them to send us a donation.
Yeah.
when we were talking about.
I like their wheels for N scale. They're real nice wheels, and I keep my my NMRA gauge in here, and also my Microtrains height gauge. So, and just stuff like that. You know, that way I got all my N scale trucks organized. And I can put my hands on it real easily. I've got, like I said, I have I think 4 or 5 of these boxes that I've dedicated to different things. And I found these at the hardware store. I'm sure there's they're pretty common. I think you could probably find them at any good hardware store.
I bet beauty supply shops would have that kind of thing too.
Possibly. And I have this other one. This was an older box that I actually got secondhand from someone else. As you can see, it's a little beat, but it still works fine. The same idea. This one I keep resistors. This is for DCC stuff mostly, but I got my resistors in here, and I also cut the tops of the packages off so I remember what the ratings are. Like these are 820 ohms right here in this bin, and then this bin is 750 ohms and 620.
I suppose you could even put a little label on it if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, if I wanted to get fancy, but this was easy and quick. Just
sure.
To
well, it's functional, which is what matters, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just another idea with these little kind of storage boxes, and I don't know where this one came from. Like I said, I got it secondhand from somebody I knew. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you say you had one of these, what's this little section here? This one.
This is 820 ohm.
Okay, so say this 820 ohm thing fell into the wrong section. Does it have a listing on the thing itself? Like you can get a magnifying glass out and look it up?
No, but they're color coded.
Oh, okay.
And if you know how to read the color coding, and in fact, if you have an iPod
you can
or
take
an
a picture
iPhone,
of it?
no, there are apps for the iPhone and iPod, and probably iPad too, that will tell you what the color codes mean.
Oh, that's so funny. But you don't take a picture of it, though.
No, you just dial in the color code. You just, I could even show you. I don't know if it would show up in the...
Well, we could try it, I guess. Well, we'll try it. We'll be right back and we'll try that. So here it is. This is the app on... What is this,
This is an iPod.
iPod.
And this was, hang on a second. I actually have two in here. This one was called Resistors CC. And I think it was either free or maybe it cost $1. So it wasn't that, any big investment. But you dial in the bands. There's three bands for the rating and then a tolerance. And you can, with your finger, just change the, it's hard to do this upside down. But, you just match the color coding to whatever your resistor is.
That's really cool.
And it
just
tells you
yeah.
right up here what the rating is.
Wow.
So you just have to, you don't have to memorize anything. You just match what's on the resistor. So it was a little neat thing. And there was a couple different. There's at least one other one that I have on here that does basically the same thing. So it's a handy little app to have if you have a iPod or iPhone, and they may have it for other types of smartphones too. I don't know, but anyway. Okay, so getting back to railroad stuff, this is a bigger box, and in this one I keep HO scale trucks, wheel sets, and driveline components. Got some various brands of wheels in here. I just keep them sort of sorted. These are looks like 36-inch diameter with the regular old RP25 tread, and here's some with the
looks thinner.
These are the semi-scale 88 tread wheels, and I've got some. These are some AccuRail trucks. Some of them I put some wheel sets in. Some of them I haven't done that yet. But anyway, and these are some Tahoe Model Works trucks for cabooses, and I've got some miscellaneous trucks over here. Got some different various parts. Like these are spare worms for Athearn diesels. I've got some spare drive gears, those little guys that go in the axles. Whoops.
I think it went into here.
Yeah, these little ones that fit between the wheels and the axles for the diesels. Yeah, let's get that back in here.
So this is Dan's mechanic shop.
Yeah, just different gears, different. I've got some like spare universals, the Athearn style universals for drive lines, motor mounts, flywheels. I just keep all that kind of stuff kind of together, again, so that I know where it is. I can get my hands on it.
Yeah, nothing would be worse than being in the middle of some project and needing some specific part and then having to search all day for it.
Right, exactly.
Then you can't find it, or yeah, go ahead.
That's really the point of this, is to save a lot. Not only does it save headaches, but it saves you a lot of time. I mean, if not all of us have like unlimited time to do modeling, so try to do it as efficiently as possible. And the more time you have to spend hunting for things.
Yeah, you know what would happen to me is I would look and look and look. I'd realize I can't find what I'm looking for. I'd go to the train shop or someplace and buy the part, and as soon as I got home, I'd find it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there it is. Duh. And it would be in some, obvious place.
Yeah. So here's a yet bigger box. This one I actually keep tools in.
So this one's so big, it's taking up more than the picture. So.
Oh, okay.
Let's zoom. We'll pan around this if we have to, but.
Okay.
Wow, look at all that.
Basically keep hobby tools, stuff that's good for working on trains. Little small needle nose pliers. I got some tweezers.
Do you have a hammer in there?
No hammer. Got my, these are the sprung kind of tweezers that stay closed. These are good for holding little parts. Got a Northwest Shortline wheel and gear puller. Northwest Shortline quarterer, if you've ever had to re-quarter the drivers on a steam engine. Not a fun job, but I keep it in here. Got some white grease.
Dude, it looks like fake blood. You remember when you were a kid and you had fake blood came in those little tubes just like that?
Yeah. No, this is just grease. And I got my HO scale standards gauge in here. Some Katie Greasem, which is a graphite lubricant. Green putty for doing when I'm doing kit bashing and need to fill seams and things like that. Got some other pin vise for small drills. Some small jeweler's screwdrivers. Got my X-Acto knife in here. got a razor saw in there behind the soldering iron, and a multimeter, which is good for doing testing, especially if you're doing a DCC install and you need to like figure out what wire's going somewhere. Good to have. So this is just, again, I try to keep all my hobby tools in a place so that they're easy to get to. And I've got another box that's just like it. And this is for all my DCC stuff. I've got Kapton tape. I got wire for decoders. A decoder. one of my ESU loc sounds that I haven't put in yet.
That we should thank ESU for again.
Yeah, this is actually one of the ones I bought myself.
Oh, well, we should thank them for the other ones.
Yes,
anyway.
they did. They're sponsoring our upcoming diesel detailing series, and those decoders are actually in a box with all the diesels that I'm going to use for that project, so they don't get lost or confused with anything else. But anyway, yeah, I keep, you know, just different things. This is just fiber optics for doing headlights. Keep that in there. I got some zip ties, you know, just sometimes those come in useful if you have a lot of wires in a locomotive and need to bundle them. I've got some ESU speakers. Some more speakers. These are I think these are the 100 ohm ones for the ESU, the Loxound 3.5s, and these are 8 ohm speakers for most other decoders, and the selects take a 8 ohm too. I got some double-sided foam tape, good old electrical, just plain old vinyl tape. Got some solder, just different things. So again, it's just a matter of being kind of organized and keeping all the stuff that's related in a place, so that you can get to it. Okay, so this is a box. It's just a cardboard box. It's 20 inches by 16 inches by 4 inches deep. And what I've done with it is I use it for all my detail parts. And I cut some cardboard strips that were the same depth as the box and taped them in with some packing tape. And I made these little sections to try to organize my detail parts. As you can see, I've got quite a few at this point. And I've kind of got these organized. I've got like this part over here is where I keep long stuff like brass rod and brass wire, also like plastic strips, things like that. Then in here, these two sections are details for locomotives. So I've got like coupler lift bars in this section, and then there's these sort of organizers like bells and MU hoses, more MU receptacles. You know, I've got different things. There's some lights down. Here's a headlight for a steam engine. What else we got in here? Air horns. I've got all kinds of stuff. Some jacking pads. And,
jacking pads?
Yeah, those are the things that...
I don't even want to know what that is, dude.
They're the things on a diesel where they put a jack if they need to lift it.
It sounds like something else.
Only you would think of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it does sound funny.
Anyway, got like air reservoirs, and notice I'm just moving on here. I've learned to ignore John.
Trying to ignore the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought it sounded like something else.
Got a whole collection of snow plows here and different things. Then in this middle section I keep stuff that doesn't really fit in here, like some Canon parts, like there's a Canon nose, and there's a hood end and different things, some doors and whatnot. And, these are some spare parts that I bought. These are, I think, some Atlas fuel tanks in this bag for GP40s or 40-2s, I think. And some fans and these are side frames for looks like an Atlas GE.
You know, the amazing part, there's someone can comment here, the amazing part is I see probably hundreds of envelopes, even just in this section here.
Yeah.
which makes me think the value of the stuff that's in this box, I mean, that's a lot of...
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It would scare me. I don't want to know.
Dude.
I didn't buy it all at once. This is accumulated over a long time.
Yeah, well, that's the tricky part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then you don't know how much you've spent.
Right. I don't want to know how much I spent on this hobby. And then I've got some other things. This is some A-line wipers. Now this stuff here, oh yeah, this is still more Canon parts and things like that. I've got some step kits and turbo hatch, different Canon parts. This section here is for freight car details. So I've got, there's one of those Hennessy door openers. I think on a previous podcast I showed how to put one of those in a box car.
Was that cranking thing?
Yeah, that's that wheel that goes on the
Yeah.
side. And there's some stirrups for the corners and different freight car parts in here. And I think, what's this stuff? Yeah, this is more freight car. This is a ladder kit for a tank car. This is like some Plano parts. Plano parts need to be kept in especially like roof walks and things like that.
You don't want to bend those.
You don't want to bend them, right? So that's one good thing about the cardboard. It's fairly protective. And then over here, what do I got? Oh, I got a couple of... These are things that wouldn't fit in my truck box because they haven't opened them. This is some Katy roller bearing trucks, and I got another set of Katy trucks.
Well, I have another question. So, I mean, because this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I would think that if you have a project you're working on, that you would just go buy the pieces you need. Is this like a bunch of excess stuff that maybe it came with more pieces than you needed? Or?
Well, what I usually do, and maybe it's a bad habit, but I usually buy more than I'll need for a project because I know that I'm going to use it again eventually. Especially if you model, like I model SP a lot or Santa Fe. I know there's certain details that are pretty common on Santa Fe diesels and Southern Pacific diesels, like the Southern Pacific headlights. I know if I don't use the headlight on one diesel, I'll use it on another. So I don't mind buying a couple more than I need. Or same thing with horns, stuff like that. So
yeah, I just wondered because it also may be because the place that sells all this stuff. I'm assuming you got all of this in Santa Clara, right?
Well, a lot of it came from the train shop. Some of it came from eBay. Some of it came from different places.
Well, I was thinking maybe if the train shop weren't as far away as it is, then maybe you would have this stuff.
Right. That's another consideration. I mean, it's not that far, but it is. It's far enough that So, anyway, it's just again when I need a part, I know where to go to look for it.
It's almost like your own little store,
It is, yeah. But it's better than having to, you're trying to work on something and then you don't have the part you need to proceed.
Yeah, I mean, driving down to the train shop for you is at least a good hour-and-a-half trip out of your day.
Well, both ways, yeah.
Right, that's what I mean, to get there and get what you need and come back, so.
Right.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so the last thing is this, which is an even bigger box. This one's actually on wheels. I got it.
Do you know what it looks like? Do you know those auto mechanics? They have those giant red chests.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah, well, this is just
for
plastic.
model trains. It's a giant red chest for model mechanic.
Yeah. Well, I like this because it's got drawers. These pull out, and you can put stuff in these. And like for me right now, I live in a small place and I don't have a dedicated workbench or workshop area. So having this like this that's portable is kind of nice. And again, I just keep stuff in here, like I keep paint in this drawer on my bottles. This happens to be mostly polyscale. I've got some more paint down here that's, I think I got some flow cool down here, and I got some more polyscale that's not open. And just different stuff. I've got some like, blue RTV in here, and just different things. But it's just good to again keep things organized, keep it in a place where I can find it and where I know where it is, and that's kind of the point of all of this. So you can use some organizational techniques like what Dan just showed you, or you could end up with this, or something worse. Imagine all this junk in a box, all just kind of thrown around, or a whole bunch of boxes. Yeah, even better. Yeah. And then what would happen to me is I'd go searching through it, and I'd actually pick this up from this end. Yeah. Which would be even more fun. So yeah. To be fair, these are my boxes, and I used to actually have a lot more stuff like this with all these open like this is an old Athearn blue box lid, stuff like this with all these upside down lids all over the place, and it got to be a real mess.
Getting organized. Well, there you have it, people. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and remember to catch our audio podcast on the 15th of every month. And also keep in mind there's a program being offered at the Central Coast Railroad Club's meeting this month on July, I think it's the 16th or the 17th. It's the third Friday of the month. That's going to be a video all about the coaster service down in San Diego that we made. So we'll be presenting that this month at the Central Coast chapter at the Santa Clara Depot.
In Santa Clara, California.
Yes, of course.
So if you're local and can make it.
There you go. Or if you're not local and you want to make it, that'll give you an excuse to come down.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, thanks.